What's good, yo? And welcome to my second viewing of Avengers Infinity War. Now, like I said, I didn't now. Probably doesn't call this a movie review because this really isn't going to be a movie review, like a second movie review for Avengers Infinity War. This is more or less going to be talking about my second viewing that I saw when I saw on IMAX last week. I've been busy throughout this week, so I'm just getting into today. Excuse me. So throughout this video, I'm really just going to be talking about, things I didn't really talk about in my original review that I forgot to talk about. Things I have noticed when I saw it the second time. Stuff that has come out about Avengers Infinity War, saying, like, stuff that the Russo brothers kind of Feige has said that maybe confirming theories or confirming other details later that have come out since my original review. Of course, we talk about the reactions from the audience, because that'll be fun to talk about, especially when the characters start dying. Yeah, and also, by the way, this video will contain major spoilers, so if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War, first of all, what the hell is wrong with you? And second of all,
you just made the list! Oh, no.
And another thing I'm talking about this video is also going to be just gushing about IMAX, because I did see the movie in IMAX last week. I'm actually seeing the movie a third time next week, or I guess this week, technically. We're having this field trip to school where, they're going to see Avengers Infinity War, so when I heard that, I was like, sign me up for that shit, because I'm going to see Avengers Infinity War a third. My mom's like, Glenn, you want to see Avengers Infinity War for a third time? I'm like, yes! I would see it 10 times in a row if I could! In IMAX 3D, damn it! So, let us begin. Okay, so this might be a little all over the place in this video, because this is I'm not doing this with script, but let's talk about, things that I didn't originally, that I noticed, that will happen during a second viewing, thanks to me watching the movie in IMAX, and really things I forgot to talk about. Now, one thing I definitely need to talk about is one thing that I definitely loved was when, that I didn't talk about in my original review, was actually the scene where Thor was actually talking to Rocket, and, he's talking about, anger and loss, they are great motivators for the soul, and when he's talking about, excuse me, I've got some little sick, so if I, so there's little too long pauses or something. That's why, because I'm a little sick, dealing with allergies. My parents just kind of rearranged the furniture here. They dusted. We have a new couch, or at least it's a recliner. So you'll probably see what the setup now looks like a little bit when I get to my chat directions for My First Girlfriend Is a Gal. So stay tuned for that. See the steps, and also so to have room hasn't really been that much cleared up for the dust to settle. So yeah, I currently have it right now. And I'm still recording this video because fuck, I want to get this video done with, and also I will also do a separate video on my theories and speculations about Avengers 4 after, of course, seeing Avengers 4. I think I'll do that video after I'm done with my third showing, or I should say my third viewing of Avengers Infinity War. Anyway, I love that scene because, you see, while Thor is going on about his brother and the loss he has suffered, you can actually see Chris Hemsworth. His eyes are actually watery. He actually has a tear dusting, which I thought that was spot on acting from Chris Hemsworth. Another thing I noticed, and that I didn't really talk about in my review, was the scene when, when Iron Man is facing off against Thanos, and the end when a time wave after he does it, when he's in the middle doing that ridiculous combo just to get a little scratch on him, he's like, all that effort for a drop of blood. Badass scene, love that line. Someone put that shit on a shirt. We see the nanomachines actually discover parts of Tony's body that because these nanomachines were starting to get stretched in because Thanos has done so much damage to that there he's lost parts of it that they weren't before. So when he has to turn his leg into this giant rocket or whatever it was, something for his arm gets doesn't have the nanomachine anymore and he leaves it exposed to get so that it can fulfill that purpose. I like that that's actually a part of there. I like how that's a part of how the Russo put those extra little details of since the nanomachines are getting stretched in, and they discover parts of Tony's body to cover up the other parts that do need the work of the extra nanomachines to turn them into out his hands into guns or something. So yeah, that was one thing I also forgot to mention my thing. But the thing with Thor, I definitely love that scene when I rewatched it. I also noticed that actually Thor's eye was actually different. His new artificial eye that Rocky gave him, that's been up his ass for God knows how long. Was actually a different eye color than Thor's original eye, which I know I was with the people that were if you were just gonna give Thor an artificial eye in Avengers Infinity War, what was the point of him losing his eye in Thor Ragnarok? And I'm with you on that. If you're going to do that, I was kind of hoping they would keep the eye patch, because I know this was some evolution or some character development arc Thor was going through in the comics a while ago. Apparently, like I said, guys, I don't really remember that many comics, so I don't really know all the details. But I did hear about that one. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you don't really just, have them, like, emulate font, but then they just give them an artificial eye. Granted, it's not the same color, but still, I mean, if you were going to get rid of his eye and Thor around, I feel like you should have just kept that going instead of just giving Chris Evans back his eye, just, probably just, in post, probably just changing the color. And another thing is, actually, when we see Peter Dinklage, and this is something I didn't notice in my original viewing of Avengers 4, that actually, Peter Dinklage's hands were actually turned to stone. Now, I know in the movie he said, like, he can't use his hands anymore, but I always thought, like, I don't know, he just couldn't, like, I was thinking of, but I didn't know he actually turned it, so I did notice that in my original viewing. It was thanks to IMAX. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys have not seen Avengers Infinity War in IMAX, you are doing yourself a grave disservice. This whole movie was filmed with IMAX cameras, and you could tell. The difference was night and day when I saw it here at the Rick Rich Cinema here, and compared to when I watched it there on IMAX in Lancaster or Palmdale. The difference was night and day. So if you guys have not seen Avengers Infinity War in IMAX, and you can, please do yourself a favor and go watch it in IMAX. It is without doubt worth every penny of its purchase price for the IMAX experience. I definitely, highly recommend it. Now, of course, some other things I did really like. I did mention my other review was also like I said, there were characters I wanted to see have appearances. I have little meetups, but they didn't have those meetups. So yeah, I'm disappointed. Like some of the characters, like a Cap and Bucky. When I watched the movie at the same time, man, was it obvious how little screen time they actually had. I mean, I knew they didn't have much screen time, but I was like, man, you two are not really in the way. And hell, Cap and Bucky don't even have a team-up moment at all. There's not it's not like in Civil War with that badass moment Cap and Bucky were playing Ricochet with Cap's shield and they were tag teaming against Tony. There was nothing like that in this movie, which was also really disappointing because I feel like ever since the Winter Soldier, the Russos and Kevin Feige have been really building up Captain and Bucky's relationship. But in Winter Soldier, they almost dropped the ball on that because after we went down Civil War, Cap is barely in the movie when he should have been a more a pivotal character along with Bucky because of all the shit that went down in Civil War. And I know Kevin Feige did say the character didn't have much of a role in Avengers 3, will have a much bigger role in Avengers 4, which when I saw that I was like, okay, Cap's gonna have a much bigger role. But then since Bucky and both Falcon are now dead, I'm like, they weren't in the movie that much yet they're dead, so we can't see them we're probably not gonna see that much of them in Avengers 4. Which, speaking of character deaths, since then, actually the Russos have actually come out and said that actually both that Valkyrie is alive and well, because I don't think I mentioned that in my original, but yes, Valkyrie is alive and well, thankfully. So we will be seeing her in Avengers 4. We better see her in Avengers 4. And that actually Gamora is inside the Soul Stone. So in a way, she's technically mostly dead. There's a big difference, so she's kind of dead, but not really dead, so I wouldn't be surprised if actually, Peter, T'Challa, and the rest of the crew are also chilling in the Mind Stone, or I should say the Soul Stone. After, Thanos actually snapped his finger and the Infinity Gauntlet just got fucking destroyed after he snapped his finger, which I wouldn't be surprised if Thanos ends up using, the Infinity Gauntlet that hell just called the fake in Thor Ragnarok, although I feel like that might have just been a throwaway line by Taka Waititi, if I'm saying his name correctly. So yeah, another thing I want to talk about in defense of Star Wars, because I don't think I've actually talked about this before. Okay, I did talk about my anime watch trailer react that dropped a few weeks ago, but nobody watched that video. I'll leave it up in the iCard in case you're curious. Now I didn't talk about this in my original video because I honestly didn't think that was big of a deal. I personally thought it was very believable. But since the movie's come out, a lot of people have been giving Star-Lord, Peter Quill, a lot of shit for what he did, hitting Thanos with his gun when he was under by what's her name? Well, Peter and Tony were trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos, and after he finds out that Thanos killed Gamora, Peter just lost and started beating him up. I can understand to a point with some people, but at the same time, you gotta know what Star-Lord has been through in just 3 movies. In the first movie, he saw his mother die. In the second movie, he found his father, his biological father, biological father, but found out that he died, that he killed his mother, so he had to kill him. And then at the end of the movie, his father figure dies protecting him. And now in the Infinity War, he's lost his girlfriend, the last person he's really loved. So he's lost 3 major people in his life in the span of 3 movies. Okay, or I should say 4 people in the span of 3 movies, but really 3, since he didn't really have that much of a connection with his father. So it makes sense that Star-Lord, that was just the straw that broke the camel's back, and Star-Lord was just like, fuck this shit, and then he started beating them. Now, sure, could they have handled it a little better? Sure, I can understand that to a point, but at the same time, you gotta remember, Doctor Strange said that out of all the future, he saw like 14,605,000,000 futures, which apparently that's a Fantastic Four reference. So, and he said that only one of them won. Hence why Doctor Strange or Nebula didn't restrain him, because it was like, this is all court. Now, granted, Nebula probably didn't know the plan, but I'm just saying, the reason none of them really helped Doctor Strange was because, like he said, there was only one future one. So, bam. So, this is all, this is all part of the plan. This is all part of Doctor Strange's plan, so that they can finally defeat Thanos. Now, so, I wanted to get that out of the way, just, defend Star-Lord, because I love the movie, and I definitely understand. If you were not kind of pissed off of, what Star-Lord did, I can understand you to a point, but at the same time, you gotta realize what he's been through in just 3 movies. Guardians 1, Guardians 2, and now Avengers Infinity War. Now, let's get to the best part of the video. The reactions in the theater. Now, okay. This was actually pretty fun, because during pivotal scenes of the movie, I was looking around the theater just to gauge people's reaction, especially when the characters started dying. I really started looking around with double and triple takes. I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 1, where he was moving his head looking for Kyle Reese. He's he moves his eyes and his head, then he moves his eyes in the other direction, and then his head. I was pretty much doing that, just looking around. Actually, when we first got to Wakanda, there was actually this blonde girl that actually did the Wakanda salute. Now, granted, I'm no better. I too, every time I went to Wakanda and when T'Challa was on screen, I too did the Wakanda salute for my king, T'Challa, played by the legend by Chadwick Boseman, who did a fantastic job in the movie, even though he wasn't in there for very much. And now that I know he's dead, we're not going to see him in Avengers 4, which kind of sucks because T'Challa's fucking awesome, and I loved him in Black Panther. And I feel like if Kevin Feige knew how well Black Panther was done, he probably would have added T'Challa to the no-kill list. Or maybe he would have killed Bob. I mean, they did kill Peter, even though they just got him. And they just got Spider-Man, so I feel like even T'Challa would have said, even if Kevin Feige knew the movie would have made $1 billion in the box office. So there was that, and next to that same blonde girl, when some of the action scenes were going, she was literally on the edge of her seat, giving full attention to the movie. I was but then when the character started dying, when Cap was on screen, people were clapping and cheering when Cap made his epic appearance, and then, the same thing happened, people were, cheering when Thor with, Rocket and Groot made their legendary appearance at the Battle for Wakanda. The Battle for Wakanda looked amazing in IMAX, by the way, and, Thor has, the Stormbreaker, which looks very similar to his hammer he had in the Ultimate Universe. I wonder if that was actually done on purpose, and, it's the Stormbreaker just looks amazing. And also, guys, you guys have also, now James Gunn has also said, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy, he came out and said that Groot's final words were, "Dad." That hurts. I'm definitely gonna be watching that scene again for a 3rd time. I'm gonna be paying attention and just see if, cause that kind of hurts a little bit when he says "Dad." Cause you remember, Rock has been raising Groot since really the end of the first Guardian, when we saw Baby Groot, and he was just raising Groot all the time. So of course he would call him Dad. It doesn't give me as much emotion as when Spidey died, because I have a much bigger connection to Spidey than I do with any of the Guardians. But it still kind of tugs at my heartstrings a little bit, just because. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching that scene again for my 3rd viewing next week. So when the characters started dying, Now, like, you know, people look shocked when, like, you know, Loki died and everything, but when the main character started dying, like, when, you know, after Thanos snapped his fingers, and, you know, he eliminated half the world's population, the theater went quiet. It was silent when everyone was, like, dying, and of course, you know, Sam Peter, you know, be like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Still hurts! It still hurts to watch that thing where I've gotten desensitized that scene now since it's all over fucking Twitter and Instagram. Seriously, I almost feel like I've become desensitized to that scene because I've seen it all over goddamn social media. It's become a fucking meme at this point. Bastards. Anyway, so, like, you know, when the character started dying, I looked around. People were shocked. That blonde girl, she looked like she was on the verge of crying when the character started, like, you know, disappear. And I was like, she was like trying her best not to hold on. She was like, I will not cry. I will not cry. But I was like, Spidey will break you. Trust me, woman. Spidey will break you. And when I looked around, and then when after Spidey died, I heard sniffling and like kind of crying in that same direction. I looked over. I couldn't really tell because, like I said, it was dark. It was a theater. She was in like the row behind me and a few seats down from where I was, so I couldn't get clear enough view. But she looked like she was crying. And like I was like, good. Now you will all suffer like I did when I saw them for the first time. Give me your tears. I just literally, when the character started dying, I just had this massive smirk on my face. I'm like, yeah, suffer like I did, you bastards. So, yeah. Watching the character die wasn't playing, especially when T'Challa was like, you know, this is no place to die. My king! My king! My king! And we know Black Panther suit's coming anyway, so it's not like it's a huge loss. We know we're getting the sequel. I mean, I'm pretty sure like, you know, Kevin Feige or Ryan Gosling came and said that they've already begun work on the sequel. Like, ideas they didn't use in the original, they're already beginning work on, like, writing the script for, like, the sequel. So I know we're getting Black Panther 2. I'll discuss more about, you know, sequels that were confirmed, sequels that we're going to be getting, and my theories and speculation videos I'll do on Avengers 4 sometime later on in the future. So, you know, like, the kid would say, yeah, that's pretty, and also, like, you know, the dude sitting next to me, when the end credits were rolling, he was, like, the dude sitting was, like, constantly, like, rubbing his eyes. I'm like, I couldn't tell if he was crying, because I didn't see any tears, but I was like, you were crying, weren't you? And then when Captain Marvel showed up at the end credits scene, the woman sitting next to me was just like, when her logo popped up, I'm like, you read the comics. So yeah, and my dad, once we seriously left the theater, my dad was like, that movie was too long. Because my dad thinks, like, any movie that's like over 2 hours long, it's too long. Even if the movie is definitely deserved to be 2 hours long, you couldn't cut anything out without really hurting the plot, yes. My dad's like, oh, that was too long, you could have cut some of that scene. I'm like, what could you have cut out? You could have cut out nothing without hurting the plot, yes. So, and my brother was like, I love all the fact that Doctor Strange gave Thanos the time. So I'm like, were you sleeping when he said there was only one future where they won? Were you all sleeping during that part? So yeah, I got really much more to say. I don't think I'm going to do a video on my third viewing because there's like really not that much more I could talk about Avengers 4 for a third viewing. But yeah, that's like I want to talk about. The crowd reactions were great to see, you know, with Cap. When, like, you know, Cap showed up, like, you know, cheering with, like, you know, Okoye and, you know, Black Widow. That team up was amazing between Okoye and Black Widow. That was legendary. Looking forward to next year, a solo movie we're getting in Phase 4 finally. So yeah, of course, my final verdict still stands. The movie's still a 10 out of 10. I love the movie to death, and yeah, that's really all I gotta say, guys. So yeah, so if you guys, of course, tell me what you guys thought about Avengers Infinity War and in the comments below. Have you gone out to see Avengers 4 multiple times? Tell me, and if you have, tell me how many, and tell me if you've seen the movie in IMAX. Tell me what you thought of the IMAX experience, because I personally fucking loved it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links in the description below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
It's She still got it. She still got